Hi everyone, my name's John Hartge. I went to school here, graduated in '72. Both my daughters went to school here and both graduated. Served on the board, and that was a wonderful 8 years. And now I'm a faculty spouse. My wife teaches weaving in the middle school. So I love this place. So let's go, Rex. Having natural talent is not a myth. If you take 10 people and put them in a race, have them do a dance, sing a song, tell a story, some will move more gracefully, some will have more wit, some will sing more sweetly. But the talented people, they cross the finish line first and make the rest of us wonder, why bother? Well, maybe having natural talent is overrated. You see, about 8 years ago, I decided to find out if this late in life I could become a musician, even though I never showed any natural talent for music. It started when I saw an old-time banjo player and a jazz guitarist make music together. Now, they had never met before, but within minutes, they were tearing it up, and it sounded great. At the time, I could play some simple melodies, but this duet, it's like they were telling stories with just their instruments. They were having a conversation, but in a language that was foreign to me. All my life, I've loved music, so it was a shock to realize I didn't understand it. And it was like music for me was being at a party in a foreign country, having a great time, but really not having any idea what was going on around me. And then I thought, well, what if I studied music the same way that I go about learning a foreign language? And I rejected the idea that having some special natural talent for music was necessary to do this. So the first thing I did was I got a couple of books on very simple music theory to find out what do musicians know that I don't. Then after a few months, I got out an old violin to sound out some of the examples in the books. And that helped me understand what I was reading, but I didn't sound very good. So I found this wonderful fiddle teacher. And since then, I've never looked back. I've spent a lot of time being discouraged. But I know it doesn't matter how fast I go. I just take my time. What matters is dedication. I struggle a lot, but persistence wins out. And with each step forward, I get to aim a little bit higher. Now, I am so slow, I'm forgetful, I'm so dense that you can't compare me to any other music student. But even so, I play every day, and I love it. And what's really great is playing with friends. Bruce Evans, Mish Bose, and I, we've been playing for years. We call ourselves the Brook Villains. And at work, I used to sneak off to the stairwells of the parking garage and practice. And from that, a group of us found each other, and now we play every week in the cafeteria. So I guess the question that might be coming up to you is, am I any good? Well, that's relative, I guess. I'm probably not as bad as I used to be. I'm not fluent, but I'm starting to understand the language of music. My ears are sharper. It's a good thing. Several years ago, I got a chance to play with the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra at the Strathmore, and then 6 months later, I did it again at the Meyerhoff Symphony Hall in Baltimore. I snuck in with some rusty musicians, and we played Brahms, Tchaikovsky, Elgar, Stravinsky. I'm actually up there, and I'm playing the notes, and I'm moving my bow in the right direction most of the time. It was incredible being in that wall of sound. Now, is this talent? I don't know. I don't think talent feels like anything at all. You know, it takes a long time to train the brain and build muscle memory. It's so gradual that you never feel yourself getting better. But I'm thinking, it doesn't take talent to become talented. Just keep at it. You know, vibrato was something that I tried and just couldn't do. For years I worked at it. But then one day I was doing the exercises again, and I felt a twinge of control in my wrist that had never been there before. And there it was. Now some people think of talent like it's fairy dust, but teachers know it has more to do with training. Sure, we all start out with different levels of talent, that's not a myth. But when training kicks in, those initial differences fade. So I think of myself as a musician now. Certainly not a great one, but all I did was spend time every day practicing. I learned on my own, learned from good teachers. I read and listen all the time. I may be a little bit obsessed about it, but there's no fairy dust. Really not for anyone. Maybe talent is what comes along when you're absorbed in the process.